Welcome back. Well, there seems to be some bit of normalcy returning to California. The city of Huntington Beach has voted to cancel all month-long celebrations for identity groups and will be instead celebrating the shared history of the community itself, which sounds like a very unifying act if you ask me. But of course, the radical liberals are up in arms because they're a whiny subgroup that must be acknowledged as special or else they're oppressed. Yeah, wrap your head around that. Won't be celebrated any more or less than any other subgroup of the community. I truly hope this is a sign of a shift in the attitude towards identity politics. I mean, Huntington Beach did lead the way when it came to rejecting CDC guidelines like beach closures, mask mandates, and vaccine passports during the pandemic. And look where we are today. Joining us now to discuss this is the mayor of Huntington Beach herself, Gracey. Thank you so much for being with us today. It's great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So I have to say, I love the decision to get away from celebrating identity politics. How was this proposed, and was it easy to pass in the council?
Well, we had a long discussion about it. The intent behind bringing this forward was not to detract from acknowledging historical moments, but we want to celebrate local moments as well, local historically important moments here for our city, and why shouldn't we? I think it's important that we look at our history to tell what's going to happen in the future. And a lot of the people are not aware how our city came about, and a lot of the people are not even aware about historically significant moments here in our country. So we want to bring some focus back to them.
Well, I think that is a wonderful idea. What are some of the historical moments of importance that we should know about Huntington Beach that the people should know about if they don't already?
Well, we did have an email asking where are we celebrating oil. And what people don't know is if it wasn't for the oil boom of the 1920s, Huntington Beach wouldn't be the city we are today. We used to have oil seeping up through the ocean, and it was because of the drilling that released the pressure that our ocean is clean and are beautiful, and our beaches are beautiful. A lot of people don't know that. Also, I was surprised to know here in Huntington Beach, we have the biggest Independence Day parade west of the Mississippi. I always say Happy Independence Day. I don't say Happy 4th because we're not celebrating the number. We're celebrating our independence. I walked down Main Street. I said, Happy Independence Day. A little girl looked shocked. She said, what? Do you know what we're celebrating? She said, the 4th. She asked her mom, she goes, are we celebrating the 4th? She didn't even know it was Independence Day.
Wow.
So we have news sources here. I just saw this article where they're saying our schools, libraries, and programs are already teaching a rich historic heritage. And if they are, they need to do better because our children are being robbed of a proper historical education.
Absolutely, and I think that is abundantly clear given where society and children are at in today's day and age. I mean, the reading, writing, math scores are just horribly low, record lows. So I think it's far past time we get back to teaching things of actual substance that really matter in school. So I'm glad that the community there is shifting the focus onto that. That's very important and really wonderful to hear. Can you tell us a little bit more about the plans for the months as a way to celebrate the community as a whole? What is that going to look like?
Well, we're going to split the month. So now you're not going to have a whole month of celebrating one overarching topic. We can still talk about cultures if that's what the community wants to do, but we also talk about national historical moments, of local historical moments. So we'll be splitting up whether it's a week, a few days. I think it's important that we share the month to celebrate a lot of different topics that are important and not just one.
Absolutely. Very important indeed. And, as a former Huntington Beach resident myself, I love to see this. It was a little bit concerning for a minute there when I saw it going a little bit woke, as I mentioned in my opening. You guys were so wonderful during the lockdowns, defying a lot of the mandates that were happening. And I really, truly enjoyed living there during that time. Obviously, the beaches are unbeatable. It's just one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my life. So it's wonderful to see us getting back to the roots here and focusing again on what matters. I think a lot of people were. I had a video that gained a bit of traction about the pride flag that was put up a year or so ago. I'm curious to know what the reaction has been from residents also, because I got a lot of praise and a lot of pushback from that video. Would you say most of the Huntington Beach residents are happy about these changes?
the majority of the Huntington Beach residents are happy that we are going to come together under a flag that unites us all, and that is the flag right behind me, the one of the United States of America. Um, we have so many different cultures and identities here that they said, well, why are we splitting us up into categories based on how much melanin you have in your skin or who you choose to have sexual relations with? We have one flag, unites us all, and that's what we need to focus on.
Amen. I couldn't agree with you anymore. And I'm dying to know, too, what has the response been from some of the people who are not so happy with the new decision? I'm sure there's been a little bit of pushback. Can you tell us more about that?
There have been calling us every phobic and ist they can come up with, but that's not the case. And at the end of the day, we have to do what is right for a community as a whole. And that is actually what we're trying to focus on, the community as a whole, not dividing us in all these little subcategories. So yeah, they still come to council meetings. They still call us names. Received an email wishing me a slow and painful death, but not before I suffered for a long period of time. That is the tolerance that we have to experience from the tolerant people.
Lovely. Yes, this is the party of peace, love, and tolerance that are notorious for sending out those types of messages. So that's wonderful to hear. Glad they are, getting up to speed with what they put out there. Really sad, though. I'm sorry you have to go through that, but just know that most of America is on the same page as you, and we are grateful for you standing up, especially here in California, where that is the rare thing to do, unfortunately. Now, while we're talking about sort of how to handle the liberals and their bizarre delusions, I actually have a clip from a Delta employee who was recently confronted by a trans person. I want to play that video. Let's take a look at how the situation was handled, and then we'll come right back to you.
What about when a Delta employee misgenders you
I'm so
intentionally?
sorry. While he's talking, you're talking.
You just
over.
misgendered me again.
Okay.
Multiple times.
Gotcha.
Both of you have.
Wasn't intentional, but if you want to take it personal, that's also.
Well,
okay.
she did do it intentionally twice.
Gotcha. You're talking to me too.
You said she and then you said he.
You're being condescending, and if you want to continue, I have Port Authority escort you out the building right this moment. If you want to play that game with me.
Okay.
Would you like to continue 3 days before Christmas? I really don't mind.
I'm good. I'll just put this on.
I love it. I think this is how it's done. I think there needs to be a whole lot more of this. I have to ask, do you think most of America feels like this Delta employee in this case?
I believe most people are getting tired of being humiliated, bullied, and berated by people like this person in the video, and they're just frustrated. Mm-hmm. So there's no need to be so disrespectful. The majority of the people really don't care what color you are or who you sleep with. Yeah. They just want to be treated with respect. And these people are just going to work. This has happened several times, like the pizza shop in New York. The immigrant man was being berated as well. People are just getting tired of being treated so badly.
Absolutely. I think they are indeed. And I think he handled a tough situation incredibly professionally. He was calm, he was cool, collected. And that's how we should be, I think, when we find ourselves in situations like this. So that was really great to see. I have to ask, what should people do in maybe more liberal cities who are fed up with how things are being run? They maybe feel hopeless by their current leadership. How do people get involved and fight back and stick up for we the people? Because it feels like it's sort of slipping away in some of our communities here, especially in California.
Well, what's happening here in California is more people are actually getting involved in local politics. Everybody has been so hyper-focused on national politics that they didn't even realize you want to make a difference. You make a difference here at the school boards, at city council. And that is where most people are shifting their focus now. And that's actually bringing a lot of awareness. So I do think getting involved locally has been a big shift that I've noticed in the few years that I've been doing this. Absolutely.
And I think that is such a great point. Something that you said, as you said, is so often overlooked. People are so focused on the national wide-scale issues that they overlook what's happening in their own backyard. And that's the place that I think our voices really matter the most, right? Would you agree?
Well, yes, and even here in our city, we like to call it a small city, 200,000 people. Mm-hmm. But even what we're doing here is actually being spread and resonated throughout the country. You can just start a tiny little ripple effect locally. And the solution is get involved locally, and that is the direction we're seeing people coming.
Absolutely, and I know it's making a huge impact because I know Huntington Beach has garnered attention from all around the country because of what you guys are standing up for and fighting back against. So just know that it is so appreciated. I appreciate it so much. I'm so glad to see it. It makes me so happy, and I just encourage you to keep up the great work.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.